The academic challenge for our new millennium. It's time for KatHiQ 2000. Now, here is your host, Mike Hartsock.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another round of KatHiQ 2000. Today, we have a two-time returning winner coming back with us on the bottom row, the Bell Fountain Chiefs, looking for their third win and a chance to retire and perhaps get into our playoffs at the end of the season. But Fairborn stands in the way right now. The Skyhawks up on the top row. First-timers, good to have you both with us. Our game is very simple. It's 4 rounds of competition. In the first round, we ask 10-point questions. You buzz in, give the correct answer, you get the points. You incorrectly answer the question, the other team can give the correct answer and steal those points away. So teams, if you're ready, here we go. Here's your first question in the first round of KatHiQ. Its setting is southern Alabama in the early 1930s. One of the characters is Atticus Finch. Cat from Fairborn.
To Kill a Mockingbird?
To Kill a Mockingbird is correct for 10 points. Tubers, needles, aerial roots, or bilateral symmetry. Which do conifers have? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Bilateral symmetry?
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn, a chance to steal. Needles. Another 10-point toss-up. Tom Wolfe wrote a major biography of American astronauts, and its title has been widely used as a descriptive phrase for leaders. What was the title of that biography of American astronauts? Don from Bell Fountain.
The Right Stuff?
The Right Stuff is correct for 10 points. On November 25th, 1963, the body of President John F. Kennedy was laid to rest in what? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Arlington?
In Arlington National Cemetery is correct for 10 points. In 1964, the U.S. launched the space probe Mariner 4 on a course to study which planet? Was it Don from Bell Fountain?
Venus?
No, that's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Fairborn. Was it Jupiter, Venus, Mars, or Mercury? Oh, Mars was the correct answer. Okay, here's a Boone Shelf Museum of Discovery bonus question, so check out your monitors, but make sure you listen carefully now. This Scandinavian nation attempted to remain very neutral during the decades of the Cold War. What is the capital city of Finland? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Helsinki?
Helsinki is correct for 10 points and 10 bonus points for answering a Boone Shelf Museum of Discovery bonus question. Another 10-point toss-up. Which body system provides a residence for homeless tapeworms? Felix from Fairborn.
Digestive system?
The digestive system. The answer has been used before, but we'll try it again. Here we go. The history of what African continent nation is linked to the names Nasser, Sadat? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Egypt?
Egypt is correct for 10 points. What word was coined by Lewis Carroll when he combined the words chuckle and snort? Felix from Fairborn.
Chortle?
Chortle is correct for 10 points. The most famous drummer of the swing era achieved international celebrity status as a drummer virtuoso with Benny Goodman's band. Rob from Bell Fountain.
Tommy Dorsey?
That's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Fairborn. His name was Gene... His name was Gene Krupa. The author of this line was referring to what nation? An almost erotic affection for guns inherited from the pioneers is responsible for the highest murder rate among industrialized countries. Name the nation. Rob from Bell Fountain.
The United States?
The United States is correct for 10 points. It was November 13th, 1775. American forces scored a morale-building victory against the British when they captured which Canadian city? Chris from Fairborn.
Montreal.
Montreal is correct for 10 points. A history buff interested in seeing the original Star-Spangled Banner would go to what institution? Rob from Bell Fountain.
The Smithsonian?
I need more than that.
The American History Museum at the Smithsonian?
No, that's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Fairborn. Would go to what institution in what city in order to meet his goal? Felix from Fairborn.
The Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C.
That is correct for 10 points. What compound word refers to the amount added to the cost of an item when figuring the selling price? Compound word. Rob from Bell Fountain.
Sales tax?
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn, a chance to steal. Markup. On the top of which mountain were the Greek gods said to have had their residences? Chris from Fairborn.
Olympus.
Mount Olympus is correct for 10 points. The U.S. wanted all of the land west of the Rockies from Oregon to Alaska. Finish the last two words of the slogan which made this demand. 54-40, Rob from Bell Fountain.
Or fight?
Or fight is correct for 10 points. During World War II, most nations of Europe were overwhelmed by German military forces. Which of the following was not overwhelmed? Is it Great Britain, France, Austria? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Great Britain.
Great Britain is correct for 10 points. She is one of the young, early 20s, highly popular female singers over the last 3 years. Some of her hits include Criminal, Title, and Win the Pawn. Kat from Fairborn.
Fiona Apple.
Fiona Apple is correct for 10 points. And that is the end of round one today between our returning champions from Bell Fountain and the Fairborn Skyhawks. And on the board right now, got a good one going. Bell Fountain with a 10-point lead after one round. Plenty to go on HiQ 2000, so don't go away.
Dry skin is a nasty little problem, but extra dry skin, now that's a big problem. Fortunately, there's advanced therapy from Lubriderm with special nutrients and vitamins. Advanced therapy. Later, Gator.
This is how hundreds of thousands of smokers have quit. It's the gradual step-down method, and you get it from Nicoderm CQ. Most store brand patches have only one step. You can't step down your dose. Nicoderm CQ has 3. You step down gradually, and gradual is the method doctors prefer. Quitting's important. Choose carefully. Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
Join Moore's Fitness during the Moore's Light Special for only $29 a month.
With no long-term commitment.
That's right, only $29 a month. Call 1-800-MOORES-24.
Stuck in a dead-end job? Go back to school because learning counts.
Welcome back to HiQ 2000. Our game today between Bell Fountain. There are two-time returning winners, and the Fairborn Skyhawks. We've got a good one after one round. Bell Fountain with a 10-point lead, 80-70. Before we get into the bonus round of competition, let's take a minute or so to meet our two teams. Starting out on the top row from Fairborn, the Skyhawks. Chris, lead us off.
My name is Chris Mahoney. I'm a senior.
My name is Felix Castro. I'm a junior.
My name is Kat Williams. I'm a senior.
My name is Rob Legas, and I'm also a senior.
Okay, then. Down on the bottom row from Bell Fountain. Rob, do the honors.
My name is Robert Storm. I'm a junior.
Martha Miller. I'm a junior. Kara Thomas, senior.
I'm Don Stubb, senior.
Okay. Bonus round time. In our bonus round, we ask 10-point toss-up questions. The team that gets the question correct then gets up to 3 more bonus questions for as much as 30 additional points, 40 if it's a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery question. So, teams, here we go. Here's your first toss-up question in the second round. The most famous of the Greek oracles was found at which of the... Felix from Fairborn.
Delphi?
Was found at Delphi. That's correct. And bonus questions now for Fairborn only. This is a capital idea because it's all about capitals of the world. Remember, you can confer with your teammates here. For 5 points, name the capital city for the island nation of the Philippines. Need an answer.
Yes. Jakarta.
No, Manila.
Manila.
Another 10-point toss-up. Name the capital city of the state of Alabama. Rob from Bell Fountain.
Montgomery.
Montgomery is correct. And bonus questions for Bell Fountain only. This is a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery bonus question, but we won't see anything on the monitors. So you do get 10 points if you get all 3 of these. The Earth's characteristics are constantly changing. What happened in each of the following situations? For 5 points, the shape of the land changed from mountains to low hills to rolling plains. This is due, Bell Fountain, to what process?
Erosion.
Erosion or weathering, that's correct. For 10 points, flat rock layers are changed into wavy rock layers. What is this process called? It's called folding. Another 10-point toss-up question. 4 Canadian provinces border the western half of the United States. Moving from west to east, name these 4 provinces in order, from west to east. Nobody's quite sure. British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, or Manitoba. Another 10-point toss-up. The name for this disease is derived from a Latin word meaning bad air. It is transmitted by the cat from Fairborn.
Malaria?
Malaria is correct for 10 points. And bonus questions for Fairborn only. Once again, this is a Boone Shelf Museum of Discovery bonus question. And check your monitors out because we will have visuals here. For 5 points, all ferrets belong to a scientific family such as skunk, mink, and otters. What is the name, Fairborn, of this scientific family?
Rodentia?
Pardon me?
Rodent?
No. Weasels. The weasel family. Another 10-point toss-up. What short 2-word phrase is the name for all members of the legal profession, even if they don't drink? Felix from Fairborn.
Bar members?
They're members of the bar. That's correct. And bonus questions once again for Fairborn. Coaches receive much press attention, both good and bad. Today we give them a lot of attention in this bonus round. For 5 points, he has the nickname of Joe Pa and plays his home games in State College. He also just signed a new 5-year contract. Who is he? Rob, you don't have to buzz in here.
Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno is correct. For 10 points, Fairborn. Career changes. Previously fired by the Braves and the Cardinals, he took his 1999 team to the baseball playoffs and the World Championship. Who is he? He is Joe Torre of the New York Yankees. Another 10-point toss-up for both teams. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is located in what major East Coast American city? Felix from Fairborn.
New York City?
New York City is correct, and bonus questions for Fairborn once again. Musical terms and names are the answers to this set of bonus opportunities. For 5 points, a female voice that is best at the lower range of notes is what?
Alto.
Alto is correct. For 10 points, he composed the famous Hallelujah Chorus in 1743.
Handel.
Handel is correct. And for 15 points, an American inventor. He founded the School of Music in Rochester, New York. It is named for him. Who is he?
Edison?
No, he's George Eastman. Another 10-point toss-up. Any geometric solid contained by 4 planes is a what? Cat from Fairborn.
Quadrilateral?
No, that's incorrect. Bell Fountain, a chance to steal. A tetrahedron. What abbreviation formed exclusively by 3 vowels indicates a promise to pay a debt? Chris from Fairborn.
IOU.
And IOU is correct. And bonus questions for Fairborn once again. This bonus opportunity is a real Lulu because each answer begins with the 2 letters LU. For 5 points, a Protestant church named after a German founder.
Lutheran.
Correct. For 10 points, something absurd, very ridiculous.
Ludicrous.
And for 15 points, mournful, doleful, dejected, slow-moving. It's a word I'd never heard of before, lugubrious. Another 10-point toss-up. No, we are out of time in the second round. Before we go to break, though, let's go to the scoreboard and see where we are. Fairborn is forged into the lead, 155-95. We're only halfway home, though. 2 more rounds still to play. So stay right there.
Nothing you do says you love your dog more than protecting him from harm. That's why now there's Revolution. Revolution is the only one that protects against heartworm, fleas, and other harmful parasites with just a spot once a month. And Revolution is not a pesticide. So ask your veterinarian about Revolution today. Revolution is for dogs 6 weeks or older. Less than 1% of dogs experience digestive upset. Use with caution in sick, weak, or underweight animals. Revolution. It will protect those you love, inside and out.
Heading into the third round of today's game between Fairborn and Bell Fountain. And on the scoreboard right now, the Skyhawks, our newcomers, have a lead over our two-time returning champions, 155-95. It's rapid fire time. In this round, each team gets 1 minute to answer as many 10-point questions as they can. Any questions they incorrectly answer or pass on, the other team can give the correct answer and steal those points away. Bell Fountain, you're trailing right now. You'll have first choice of categories. Will it be lovers, cars, or stay, Rob?
Lovers, please.
Lovers it is. Listen up, Bell Fountain, or Fairborn, you'll have a chance to steal. Lovers are in fiction and in real life. I'll give you 15 names of a lover. You give me the name of the person they loved. Here we go with 1 minute of time. A young girl in love, Juliet.
Romeo.
A healthy Greek fighter, Antony.
Cleopatra.
The royal man, the Duke of Windsor.
Simpson.
Correct. The literary character, Jane Eyre.
Her horse.
No, that's incorrect. A very strong man, Samson.
Delilah.
Correct. A southern gentleman of sorts, Rhett Butler.
Scarlett O'Hara.
Correct. An Old Testament man, Boaz.
Ruth.
Correct. A Thornbirds character, Maggie Cleary.
The Cardinal.
I need more than that.
Pass.
A Russian Tsar, Nicholas II.
Alexandra.
Correct. Medieval legend reused by Shakespeare, Troilus.
Pass.
His comedy was divine, Dante.
Pass.
Medieval literature characters, Isolde.
Pass.
A biblical king, David.
Abigail.
Okay, 13 questions, actually 12 questions. We didn't get an answer for that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you didn't get, and a chance for Fairborn to steal. And again, we have to be specific about these with the actual names. The literary character, Jane Eyre.
Bronsted.
No, Mr. Rochester is what we were looking for, the name we were looking for. A Thornbirds character, Maggie Cleary. Ralph de Bricquissart. Medieval legend reused by Shakespeare, Troilus. Cressida. His comedy was divine, Dante. Beatrice. And the medieval literature characters, Isolde. Tristan. Okay, now it's your turn to play Fairborn. Your turn to listen up, Bell Fountain. You'll have a chance to steal. Cars or stay? What's it going to be?
Stay.
Stay. Here we go. It is stay, but not as in stay put. Each of these 15 answers begin with the 3 letters S-T-A. Here we go. 1 minute of time on the clock. A structure of tiers of seats around an athletic field.
Stadium.
Short, crisp notes of music. Abrupt.
Staccato.
To lose freshness. Cease to run or flow.
Stale.
No, that's incorrect. A German prisoner of war camp.
Pass.
A male horse kept for breeding.
Stallion.
A cave formation rising from the floor.
Stalactite.
Pardon me?
Stalagmite.
I heard stalagmite's correct. Pierce with or thrust with to jab.
Stab.
Correct. An adult male deer.
Stag.
Lasting strength, endurance.
Stability.
No. Famous march written by Sousa.
Stars and Stripes Forever.
Correct. To put away or to hide something.
Stash.
Fixed in location, stationary, causes cling.
Static.
Static.
Piece of wood, especially for the side of a barrel.
Pass.
A post or a pillar. Didn't get that one. 13 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4 that you didn't get, and a chance to steal for Bell Fountain. To lose freshness, cease to run or flow is to what? To stagnate. A German prisoner of war camp.
Stalingrad.
No, stalag is what we were looking for. Lasting strength, endurance.
Stamina.
Stamina is correct. And a piece of wood, especially for the side of a barrel. That piece of wood is called a stave. So that's the end of 3 rounds of competition. Let's go back to the scoreboard before we go to break. 230 to 175. Bell Fountain has some catching up to do. We're back with the final exam right after this.
Not all drain cleaners are the same. Liquid Plumber can only clean part of your drain. Drano Foamer fills the entire pipe and scrubs it clean, so drains stay clear longer. Drano Foamer keeps drains clear longer than Liquid Plumber.
We perform in cabaret. I'm Rosie. I'm Lulu. And I'm anyone you want me to be. It's hot. This show's
Cabaret
very
is a
sexy.
hot,
Cabaret is a hot show.
Live theater. Anything can happen.
No predictability. Well, they asked us to try this degree invisible solid, body heat activated. Your body temperature goes up, it goes down, it goes up and down, and degree stuck with me. But I loved it.
No weight marks, nothing. So they're looking at me and my flawless performance. We need this. Degree invisible solid.
Slick und clean und clear.
Join Moore's Fitness during the Moore's Light Special for only $29 a month.
With no long-term commitment.
That's right, only $29 a month. Call 1-800-MOORES-24.
Plan for tomorrow's weather with Futurecast only on News Center 7.
If you're playing along with us, it's time to take the final exam here on KatHiQ 2000 between Bell Fountain and Fairborn today. And on the scoreboard right now, Fairborn has the lead 230 to 175. The only difference in the final exam is every question is worth 20 points instead of 10. So teams, if you're ready, here we go. Hands on your buzzers. Let's get right to it. Which leading presidential candidate could not identify the current president of Pakistan? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Bush.
George W. Bush. That was back in November. He probably knows that by now. In the famous musical Sound of Music, the Do-Re-Mi song raises this question. What note of the major scale corresponds to a note to follow so? Martha from Bell Fountain.
La.
La is correct for 20 points. In 1894, Coxey's army under the leadership of Jacob Coxey marched from Massillon, Ohio to what city in the east? Chris from Fairborn.
Atlanta.
No, incorrect. Chance to steal. Bell Fountain. Don.
Philadelphia.
Washington, D.C. Another 20-point question. Speaking of Washington, D.C., tell me what the initials D.C. stand for. Rob from Bell Fountain.
District of Columbia.
That's correct for 20 points. Is a type of short biographical sketch called a projection, a cross-section, a profile, or a silhouette? Chris from Fairborn.
Profile.
Profile is correct for 20 points. Here's a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery bonus question. Check out your monitors here. A proud folk of largely British heritage settled in this beautiful nation of islands. What is its name? Rob from Bell Fountain.
British West Indies.
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn, a chance to steal. Chris.
Canary Islands.
That's New Zealand. Another 20-point question. Consider a cross-section of a dicot stem. What is the closest to the center? Is it the pith, the cortex, or the cambrium? Chris from Fairborn.
Pith.
The pith is correct for 20 points. It is a dance-oriented pop music that explores modern urban themes with an insistent beat. Felix from Fairborn.
Techno.
No, that's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Bell Fountain. With an insistent beat and rhyming, spoken lyrics, usually in couplets. What is this form of music? Kara?
Rap.
Rap music is correct for 20 points. This famous Virginian has a modern university named after him because he was the main architect of Virginia's Declaration of Rights, which in turn was the model for our Bill of Rights. Rob from Bell Fountain.
Thomas Jefferson.
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn, a chance to steal. He is George Mason. He made just 3 films before dying in the crash of a speeding sports car at the age of 24. Felix from Fairborn.
James Dean.
James Dean, who starred in Rebel Without a Cause. Which was the earliest form of local government in colonial New England? Was it city manager, city council, town meeting, or mayor council? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Town meeting.
Town meeting is correct for 20 points. How well do you know the human body? What is it that passes through the foramen magnum? Is it the aorta, the optic nerve, the spinal cord, or the large intestine? Martha from Bell Fountain.
Spinal cord.
Spinal cord is correct for 20 points. He poisoned his half-brother and his mother, who had made him emperor. Rob from Bell Fountain.
Nero.
Nero is correct for 20 points. Which 3 characters in Macbeth spoke not in iambic pentameter, but in trochaic pentameter? Felix from Fairborn.
The 3 hags.
The 3 witches, that's correct for 20 points. Archimedes said, give a place to stand and I will move the earth. Chris from Fairborn.
Lever.
Lever was the instrument he was referring to. 2 Pac-10 teams are playing, although some might this might be a foul affair since it's the Ducks opposing the Cardinal. What two universities would be playing there in the Pac-10? They would be Stanford, the Cardinal, and the Oregon Ducks. How many calories are required to raise the temperature of 5 grams of water 1 degree Celsius? Chris from Fairborn.
5.
5 is correct for 20 points. The New Deal period of American history saw the construction of many dams. Identify the largest river valley flooded by dams during this period. Rob from Bell Fountain.
Tennessee Valley.
The Tennessee Valley Authority is correct. Name the 3 inalienable rights listed in the Declaration of Independence. Rob from Bell Fountain.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That is correct for 20 points. Who wrote the work Jane Eyre? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Jane Austen.
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn Cat.
Bronte?
Yeah, Charlotte Bronte is correct for 20 points. The Christian Bible's New Testament contains many books. How many of these books are called Gospels? Rob from Fairborn.
4.
4 of them, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The setting for Upton Sinclair's novel, The Jungle, was in what Midwestern city? Felix from Fairborn.
Chicago.
Chicago is correct for 20 points. Consider these short 2-word phrases. Swiss watches, Canadian bacon, Portland cement. What type of adjectives are used in these examples? Rob from Bell Fountain.
Nationalities?
No, that's incorrect, and no chance to steal because we're at the end of our game between Fairborn and Bell Fountain. We'll be back to check out the final score right after this.
Hey, is that a Kit Kat bar?
Can we have a piece?
Sure.
We all do dumb things. Paying too much for car insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. We all do dumb things. Paying too much for car insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Join Moore's Fitness during the Moore's Light Special for only $29 a month. With no long-term commitment. That's right, only $29 a month. Call 1-800-MOORES-24.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 7, only on Channel 7.
A good game today in KatHiQ 2000 between our returning champions from Bell Fountain and Fairborn. And Fairborn has knocked off the Chiefs' run of 2 in a row. They win 410 to 355 to advance on. So Bell Fountain, thanks for being with us for 2 weeks. We appreciate it, and best of luck to you in the future. Fairborn, we'll see you next week when you'll take on Mississinawa Valley in another round of KatHiQ 2000. Don't forget to join us next week.
Welcome to the academic challenge for our new millennium. It's time for KatHiQ 2000. Now, here is your host, Mike Hartsock.
Very much. Good to have you with us for another game of KatHiQ 2000. We've got our returning champions from Fairborn down on the bottom row today against the newcomers from Mississinawa Valley. So it's the Skyhawks against the Blackhawks today. Our questions are our game is very simple. We ask 10-point toss-up questions in the first round. You buzz in correctly, give the correct answer, and you get the points. You incorrectly answer the question, the other team can give the correct answer and steal it away. So teams, if you're ready, here's your first round questions. Back in November and December, the relations between the United States and Russia hit a major low over Russia's military actions against what territory? Nick from Mississinawa.
Chechnya.
Chechnya is correct for 10 points. What literary count could be described as an undead villain from Transylvania? Felix from Fairborn.
Dracula.
Count Dracula is correct for 10 points. For many years, the United States has refused to pay its dues to what international organization? Felix from Fairborn.
United Nations.
United Nations is correct for 10 points. What is the one-word synonym for ethyl alcohol? That is ethanol. What is the function of internally produced brain proteins called endorphins? Is it to alleviate pain, induce hunger, block reflex actions, or suppress the immune system? Felix from Fairborn.
Block pain.
No, alleviate pain. That is correct for 10 points. Here is a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery question, so check out your monitors here. It is the longest river in Africa and serves as the lifeblood of the nations through which it passes. Name the two national... Nick from Mississinawa Valley.
Alexandria and Cairo.
No, that's not what we were looking for. Let me finish the question for Fairborn. Name the two national capitals that are located on the Nile River. Cairo, Egypt, and Khartoum, Sudan is what we were looking for. In literature, what part of a story comes between the rising action and the denouement? Rachel from Mississinawa.
The climax?
The climax is correct for 10 points. What NBA basketball player had an unusually long career that lasted 21 straight seasons? His nickname was the Chief. Kat from Fairborn.
Michael Jordan?
No, not Michael Jordan. Mississinawa, a chance to steal. He played for many teams, but primarily for the Boston Celtics. Robert the Chief Parrish. A basic principle of law has been upheld by the Supreme Court. It prohibits the federal government from using illegally seized evidence in court. What is this rule called? Felix from Fairborn.
Right of seizure.
No, that's incorrect. Mississinawa Valley, chance to steal. It is called the exclusionary rule. This American artist conceived the ambition of recording the vanishing West. In 1886, his drawings began appearing in Harper's Weekly. Name this painter with his initials F.R. Frederick Remington. Her new home is in Chappaqua, New York, but it is uncertain. Felix from Fairborn.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Hillary Clinton is correct for 10 points. What mineral was the basis of Cecil Rhodes' enormous fortune and is something that the song says are a girl's best friend? Felix from Fairborn.
Diamonds.
Diamonds is correct. All of the economic resources or properties of a firm or corporation make up its what? Felix from Fairborn.
Assets.
Assets is correct for 10 points. Who or what was the murderer in the literary work The Murders in the Rue Morgue? The murderer was a gorilla. In 1958, the Central African nation of Chad became independent as an autonomous republic with the community of nations led by which European nation? Chris from Fairborn.
Britain.
No, that's incorrect. Mississinawa, chance to steal. Nick.
France.
France is correct for 10 points. On November 28, 1942, fire destroyed the Coconut Grove nightclub, killing nearly 500 people. In which major New England city was this club located? Felix from Fairborn.
Boston.
Boston is correct for 10 points. The Cherokees comprise the second most populous Indian tribe in the United States. Is the largest tribe the Sioux, the Navajo, the Creek, or the Huron? Felix from Fairborn.
The Sioux.
No, that's incorrect. Mississinawa, chance to steal. Nick.
The Huron.
No, the Navajo. A mercury barometer must be mounted in a vertical position. What slightly less accurate barometer contains no liquid and avoids this restriction? Felix from Fairborn.
Atmospheric pressure barometer.
No, that's incorrect. Mississinawa, chance to steal. It's called an aneroid barometer. The exterior angle of a regular hexagon equals how many degrees? Chris from Fairborn.
60.
60 is correct for 10 points, and that's the end of the first round of today's game between our returning champs from Fairborn and the kids from Mississinawa Valley. On the scoreboard right now, Fairborn off to a 50-point lead, but still 3 rounds to play. We're back with more right after this, so stay right there.
Trying to cover up a dull coat? Try eating healthier dog food. Petco has all the nutritious premium brands you can't get at a supermarket for a healthy coat that'll make you shine. Petco, where the pets go. Time to haul in the savings at Petco. Now save $10 with the mail-in rebate on any 8.5-pound bag or larger of Science Diet Canine or Science Diet Feline food. So grab the savings and run to Petco, where the pets go.
MedMart, the store that sells quality equipment to those with medical needs, is now featuring rugged, reliable scooters. These power-driven, long-ranging vehicles will take you around your house, your yard, and your neighborhood. They're easily transportable, and the ride is pure luxury. With a MedMart scooter, you can travel where you want without having to rely on others. MedMart, 2237 Smithville Road, across from the Van Buren Shopping Center.
1 round down, 3 to play in today's game of TheUnusualMaw. Let's check out the scoreboard before we get back to the action. Fairborn are returning champs with a 50-point lead of 80-30 over Mississinewa Valley. Before we get to the bonus round, though, let's take a minute or so to meet our two teams. Starting out in the top row from Mississinewa, Nick, do us the honors.
I'm Nick Herod, and I'm a junior.
I'm Rachel Wendell, and I'm a senior.
I'm Zach Hurley, and I'm a junior.
I'm Brandon Ryer, and I'm a senior.
All right. Important to point out that Mississinewa Valley is located in Union City, and Nick, it's almost time to change the clock over there. It kind of goes both ways, doesn't it?
Yes, in April, Indiana doesn't move forward an hour, so half the town is on slow time and half the town's on fast time.
All right, kind of confusing over there in Union City. Down on the bottom row from Fairborn, Chris, lead us off.
My name's Chris Mahoney. I'm a senior.
Felix Casher, I'm a junior.
I'm Kat Williams, and I'm a senior.
Rob Legas, and I'm a senior.
Okay, Kat, it's not nice to laugh at Chris when he messed up, okay? Here we go. Bonus round time. In our bonus round, we'll ask 10-point toss-up questions. The team that gets it correctly then gets up to 3 more bonus questions for as much as 30 additional points, perhaps 40 if it's a Boone Schaaf Museum of Discovery bonus question. So, teams, here we go. Hands on your buzzers. Here's your first toss-up. You are in Denver, Colorado, and you want to go straight west to the Pacific coast. What is the first state you'll enter in your trip? Nick from Mississinewa.
Nevada?
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn. Chris.
Utah?
Utah is correct, and bonus questions for Fairborn only now. Faces are sometimes found on the sides of mountains. Remember, you can confer among your teammates for this. For 5 points, name the famous South Dakota mountain with 4 faces carved in it.
Mount Rushmore.
That's correct. For 10 points, name the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore.
Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, and Jefferson.
Which Roosevelt?
Teddy.
Teddy is correct. And for 15 points, name the Indian chief who's being put on another mountain nearby.
Sitting Bull.
No, Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse.
Another 10-point toss-up question. Here we go. Which 2 Pac-10 schools are playing if the game is the Bears and the Bruins? Brandon from Mississinewa Valley.
California and UCLA.
California Bears and the UCLA Bruins is correct. And bonus questions for Mississinewa only. This is the Boone Schaaf Museum of Discovery bonus question. You get all 3 right, you get 10 bonus points. No visual this time, so just listen up. For 5, water is an extremely important part of the earth, resulting in the planet being able to support life as we know it. For 5 points, Mississinewa, land area in which runoff drains into a river system is called what?
Watershed?
Watershed is correct. For 10 points, the level below which all the pore spaces in the soil are filled with water is called what?
The water line?
The water...
Line?
Water line. Water... That we're going to give you that water table correct. And for 15 points, the property that enables water to dissolve many solids easily is... Not a buzz in, it's up here. I'm sorry.
Solubility?
No. Polarity. See, Kat, we can laugh at you now because you messed up. Okay, another 10-point toss-up question. Here we go. In November of 1990, the only female prime minister in the history of Britain resigned. Who was she? Nick from Mississinawa.
Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher is correct. And bonus questions once again from Mississinawa. Once again, it's a Boonshaw Museum of Discovery bonus question. And check out your monitors because we do have pictures. For 5 points, this animal is common in local pet stores and has an English relative that is a popular figure in children's literature. Mississinawa, what continent is the pictured animal naturally found on?
Australia.
No, Africa. Another 10-point toss-up question. This tobacco product became very popular recently, but has now lost a lot of its attraction. What is it? Felix from Fairborn.
Cigars.
Cigars is correct, and bonus questions coming for the Skyhawks only. Here are some questions about the Middle East, Fairborn. For 5 points, name the capital city of the nation of Iran.
Tehran.
Tehran is correct. For 10 points, what is the name of the building where Muslims worship?
Mosque.
A mosque. And for 15 points, name the nation and the water body on the same name at the southeast end of the Arabian Peninsula.
Saudi Arabia and the Arabian Gulf.
No, it's the Gulf of Oman and Oman. Another 10-point toss-up. The 40th degree of latitude serves as the boundary between Pennsylvania and Maryland. It also separates which two states in the plains of the United States? Nick from Mississinawa.
Kansas and Nebraska.
That's correct. Kansas and Nebraska. Bonus questions for Mississinawa only. Valley is a common word. Each of these answers uses this word in some way. For 5 points, Mississinawa Valley. The name of a vocational school in Piqua is what?
Upper Valley JVS.
Upper Valley JVS is correct. For 10 points, the place where General Washington spent a long, cold winter.
Valley Forge.
Valley Forge. And for 15 points, a novel about 3 women addicted to various pills was entitled... There's also a movie. It was entitled Valley of the Dolls. Another 10-point toss-up. Name the 2 teams that played for the NCAA Division I football championship this past season. Rob from Fairborn.
Florida State and Virginia Tech.
That is correct, and bonus questions coming for Fairborn here. Want to see if you can earn your BA by giving answers to which of these each of these questions, which begins with the 2 letters BA. For 5 points, a yellow fruit from the tropics is...
Banana.
A banana. For 10 points, an unpowered boat for transporting goods.
Barge.
A barge. And for 15 points, one of various sedative drugs is a...
Barbiturate.
Barbiturate is correct. Nice job. 3 out of 3. That's the end of our bonus round of competition. As we head to the scoreboard before we go to break, Mississinawa Valley on top, or check that, Fairborn on top, 170-90. We're halfway home, heading to a break. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Mom, Dad, I'm ready to go to McDonald's.
Like going to extremes? Go to McDonald's, where we're celebrating Disney's An Extremely Goofy Movie, now on video and DVD. You can get one of 8 extremely goofy characters with every $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal.
Where's Grandpa?
He said he'd meet us there.
Bye-bye.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Oh, that was some meatloaf.
And some heartburn.
Oh, yeah.
You want some Tums?
We could try these new Pepsid AC gel caps.
Are you kidding? They aren't going to be fast like Tums. They're just as slow as regular Pepsid.
Tums calcium neutralizes acid fast. Pepsid gel caps famotidine has to go all through your bloodstream before it starts controlling acid, so it's just as slow as regular Pepsid.
Well, so you want to wait? Or you want the Tums?
Forget about it. There's the Tums.
Welcome back, everybody. Halfway home in another round of HiQ. We head now to our rapid fire round. In rapid fire, each team gets 1 minute to answer as many 10-point questions as they can. Any questions they incorrectly answer or pass on, the other team can give the correct answer and steal those points away. Mississinawa, you're trailing right now. You'll have first choice of categories. Will it be sports shorts, the, or Europe?
We're going to go with the.
The it is. Okay, here it is your category. This 15-item rapid fire is not about the article the, but rather answers of each which begins with the same 3 letters, T-H-E. So here we go. A place you go to see a play or a movie.
Theater.
An instrument used to measure temperature.
Thermometer.
A set of propositions describing the operation and causes of natural events.
Theory.
Correct. A collection of words classified by meaning.
Thesaurus.
Correct. The treatment of a disease or injury.
Pass.
A government by priests or religious leaders.
Pass.
The science concerned with the conversion of heat to energy.
Thermal.
Pardon me?
Thermal.
No. A major document written by a candidate for a degree.
Thesis.
The act of stealing, larceny.
Theft.
Pertaining to heat or temperature.
Thermal.
That's thermal. The systematic study of God and his divinity.
Theology.
Correct. An insulated bottle to keep beverages hot or cold.
Thermos.
For that reason, as a result of.
Therefore.
Official first word in the name of Ohio's largest college. Didn't get that one out. 13 questions, 1, 2, 3 that you didn't get. Chance for Fairborn to steal those. The treatment of a disease or injury is?
Therapy.
Therapy. A government by priests or religious leaders?
Theocracy.
Theocracy. And the science concerned with the conversion of heat to energy?
Thermodynamics.
Thermodynamics is correct. Nice job on those three. And now it's your turn to play, Fairborn. Categories are sports shorts or Europe. What's it going to be?
Europe.
Europe it is. Everybody's staying away from the sports shorts. Much of America's culture and languages have come to us from Europe. You'll have up to 15 chances in 1 minute to answer as many as you can. Mrs. Sinawal, listen up. You'll have a chance to steal. Its capital city is Dublin.
Ireland.
This nation's history is one of wars between Sweden and Russia, with this country in between.
Poland.
No. The musical Sound of Music took place in this nation.
Austria.
The Danube River divides Slovakia on the north from what nation on the south?
Hungary.
Correct. There are 3 small nations on the Baltic which are now independent after Soviet control. Name one.
Lithuania.
Correct. Name another one.
Estonia.
Correct. And name the third.
Latvia.
Correct. The capital city of Poland.
Warsaw.
Correct. It's now 2 countries, but it was just one a few years ago. Name this former nation in Central Europe.
Czechoslovakia.
Correct. This river flows out of Germany heading east across Austria.
Elbe.
No. A tiny country surrounded by France and Spain.
Monaco.
No. World War II war crime trials were held in this German city.
Nuremberg.
This mountain range of central Italy. Nope, didn't get the answer on that one. So 12 questions, 1, 2, 3 that you didn't get. So Mrs. Sinawal, a chance to steal those back. This nation's history is one of wars between Sweden and Russia, with this country in between.
Finland.
Finland is correct. This river flows out of Germany heading east across Austria.
The Bon.
No, the Danube. And a tiny country surrounded by France and Spain is?
Andorra.
Andorra. That's good. 2 out of 3 there. And that's the end of Rapid Fire. Let's go back to the scoreboard and see where we are before the final exam. Fairborn leading 290 to 210. Back with our final round right after this.
Cat. Fat. Feed them healthier cat food. Petco has all the nutritious premium brands you can't get at a supermarket, so give them a try. All your cat has to lose is weight. Petco, where the pets go. Got your free Petco Pals card? It's the way to save at Petco. Now, Pals members get a free 1-pound bag with purchase of select sizes of Royal Canin Feline Nutrition or Natural Blend Dog Food by Royal Canin. Petco, where the pets go.
When I bite into York peppermint patty, my tongue tingles, my teeth chatter, my throat is cooled by the rapid chill of snow cascading around my body. Wow.
York peppermint patty. Get the sensation.
Watson's big spring countdown sale is on. That means huge savings on truckloads of spas, hundreds of tanning beds, a warehouse full of slate pool tables, and you'll get 12 months, no payment, no interest, special financing, only at Watson's.
All right, it's time for the final exam in today's game between our returning champions from Fairborn and the newcomers from Mississinawa Valley. On the scoreboard right now, 80 points separate the two teams. Fairborn on top, 290 to 210. The only difference in the final exam is every question is worth 20 points instead of 10. So teams, if you're ready, here we go. Hands on your buzzers for the final exam. His name was Louis Sockalexis, a native Maine Indian, and was the first to play pro baseball. His team changed its name from Spiders to recognize him. Name the city and the team's name which it still uses. Felix from Fairborn.
Atlanta Braves.
No, that's incorrect. Mrs. Sinawa, chance to steal. Zach.
Cleveland Indians.
The Cleveland Indians is correct for 20 points. Daisy Bates died last November at the age of 84. She was a major leader in the 1957 fight to enroll 9 black students in Central High School in what state's capital? Nick from Mississinawa.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas is correct for 20 points. Was the first U.S. satellite put into orbit in 1949, 1952, 1958, or 1964? Felix from Fairborn.
1964.
That's incorrect. Mississinawa, chance to steal. Zach.
1949.
1958, after Sputnik was put in orbit by the Russians in 57. What kind of weight results when tar weight is deducted from gross weight? Nick from Mississinawa.
Net weight.
Net weight is correct for 20 points. Most of a forest's photosynthesis occurs in the top layer. What is the name of the top layer of a forest? Felix from Fairborn.
The canopy.
The canopy is correct for 20 points. Here's a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery bonus question, so check it out on the monitor. This Russian river begins north of Moscow and runs mostly south all the way to the Caspian Sea. Felix from Fairborn.
The Volga.
The Volga River. That's good for 20 points and 10 bonus points. What helping verb expresses habitual action in the past? What verb? Chris from Fairborn.
Used to.
No, that's incorrect. Mrs. Sinawa, chance to steal. Nick.
Did.
Would. The poem Little Boy Blue is one of the most famous poems for children. It was written by which American author? Kat from Fairborn.
The Brothers Grimm. That's wrong, no.
Incorrect. Mrs. Sinawa, chance to steal. Eugene Field. An archon was the chief of the 9 magistrates of what ancient city near the Aegean Sea? Felix from Fairborn.
Athens.
Athens is correct for 20 points. 3 sides of one triangle equal 3 sides of another triangle. Therefore, we know that the 2 triangles are what? Nick from Mississinawa.
Supplementary.
No, that's incorrect. Cat, a chance to steal.
Similar.
Congruent is what we were looking for, the word that we had to be exact on there. On November 30th, 1993, President Clinton signed into law a gun control bill named after the man who was badly injured when President Reagan was shot. Felix from Fairborn.
The Brady Bill.
The Brady Bill for Jim Brady, that's correct. Federal Judge Jackson's ruling said that this company enjoys monopoly power when he found it guilty of improper business conduct in last November's decision. Felix from Fairborn.
Microsoft.
Microsoft is correct for 20 points. Does the Mercalli scale describe an earthquake in terms of intensity, depth, aftershocks, or geographic location? Chris from Fairborn.
Aftershocks.
No, that's incorrect. Mrs. Sinawa, chance to steal. Zach.
Intensity.
Intensity is correct for 20 points. This small nation now controls one of the busiest and most vital artificial waterways in the world. Zach from Mississinawa.
Panama.
Panama controls the Panama Canal. That's correct. What body system is affected by the disease called rickets? Felix from Fairborn.
Nervous system.
No, that's incorrect. Mrs. Sinawa, chance to steal. Nick.
The integumentary system.
No, the skeletal system is what we were looking for. The Strait of Gibraltar connects the Atlantic Ocean with which large sea? Nick from Mississinawa.
The Mediterranean.
The Mediterranean is correct for 20 points. Handel's composition Messiah is best classified of which of the following musical terms? Is it a dirge, an etude, an opera, or an oratio? Or I'm sorry, an oratorio, excuse me. Nick from Mississinawa.
An etude.
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn, a chance to steal. Felix.
Oratorio.
An oratorio is correct. Excuse my pronunciation. It is one of Latin America's oldest democracies and the second largest supplier of oil to the U.S. Name this country that had 2 attempted coups in 1993. Felix from Fairborn.
Colombia.
No, incorrect. Miss Sinawa, chance to steal. Nick.
Argentina.
Venezuela. What Shakespearean character from his mother's womb untimely kills the King of Scotland? Felix from Fairborn.
Macbeth.
No, that's incorrect. Mrs. Sinawa, chance to steal. Zach.
Hamlet.
Macduff. She has spent more time at number 1 than did the Beatles, with such hits as Heartbreaker, Rainbow, Felix from
Mariah
Fairborn.
Carey.
Mariah Carey is correct for 20 points. Your uncle owns a .257 Weatherby Magnum gun. Which amendment to the Constitution permits this? Chris from Fairborn.
Second.
The second amendment is correct. Arias by what famous Italian composer? Whoops, we're out of time. So that means before we can go to the scoreboard, we go to break and check out the final score in just a minute. So don't go away.
It's happening again.
Where's it centered?
I got it. It's centered on Elwood Drive.
Go! Back. All civilians back.
2.7.
Yeah.
2.9.
Oh, I'm feeling it. Go! Move it! Go!
Yeah! Oh! I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to GEICO. Yeah!
Geico Direct, a 15-minute... WHIO TV Kids programming not only entertains but informs and educates as well. A great lineup of these programs can be seen weekend mornings from 7 to 8, continuing from 11 a.m. to noon on Sunday. WHIO TV maintains quarterly reports and other records regarding its broadcast of children's educational and informational programming. This material is available for inspection by the public during our regular business hours at 1414 Wilmington Avenue, Dayton, Ohio.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's game was a good one between our returning champs from Fairborn and Mississinawa Valley, and Fairborn's made it 2 in a row as we check out the score on the board. 460 to 330 the final, so 2 wins in a row. Fairborn goes for a 3rd straight win and looks to retire. If they're going to move into the top 4, though, they need 540 points next week because Minster stands right now in the 4th position. They'll have to do that against Springfield Catholic, who will be in to take on Fairborn next week. Mississinawa Valley, we want to thank you all very much for playing with us. Best of luck to you in the future, and we'll see you next week for another round of KatHiQ.
It's time for KatHiQ 2000. Now, here is your host, Mike Hartsock.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another game of KatHiQ 2000. We've got a 2-time winner back looking for a 3rd win. Fairborn, down in the bottom row, needs 1 more win to retire, but they need 540 points if they get that win to tie Minster for the number 4 spot in our playoff contenders. As I said, they have to win first and then hope it's 540 or more points, and the National Trail Blazers hope to stand in the way of that. National Trail up on the top row. Guys, good to have you with us today. Our game is very easy. It's 4 rounds of competition. In the first round, we ask 10-point toss-up questions. The team that buzzes incorrectly gives the answer, gets those points. If they incorrectly answer the question, the other team can buzz in, give the answer, and steal those points away. So teams, if you're ready, here we go. Hands on your buzzers. Let's play KatHiQ. A southern state still flies the Confederate flag.
South
Jason
Carolina.
from National Trail.
South Carolina.
South Carolina is correct for 10 points. A king crab, a blue crab, a horseshoe crab, or a sand crab? Which one is not a crab? Felix from Fairborn.
Horseshoe crab.
Horseshoe crab, in the scientific sense, is not a crab. Correct for 10 points. He is considered the first European poet. He lived around 900 B.C., and the legend has it that he was blind. Felix from Fairborn.
Homer.
Homer is correct for 10 points. Your textbook tells you that the early archosaurs were bipedal. Therefore, you know that at least some archosaurs did what? Chris from Fairborn.
Walked on 2 legs.
Walked on 2 legs or 2 feet. That's correct for 10 points. In what state had Buck lived prior to being stolen and pressed into service as a sled dog in the Klondike, according to Jack London? Up there, Brad's trying to buzz in.
California.
California is correct for 10 points. Okay, here's a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery Monitor question. Now listen closely. He is called a terrorist by some, a freedom fighter by others. Brian from National Trail.
Yasser Arafat.
Yasser Arafat is correct for 10 points and 10 bonus points for National Trail. What American author, famed for his Western stories and articles on outdoor life, was born in Zanesville, Ohio? Rob from Fairborn.
Zane Grey.
Zane Grey is correct for 10 points. On November 13th, 1927, the Holland Tunnel opened to the public, connecting New York City and New Jersey by going under which major river? Chris from Fairborn.
Hudson.
The Hudson River is correct for 10 points. This famous colonial leader, inventor, and educator wrote a letter to a friend in 1789 in which he said, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain." Jason from National Trail.
Ben Franklin.
Except death and taxes, Ben Franklin is correct for 10 points. In a balanced aquarium, the fish supply the green plants with which of the following? Water, oxygen. Felix from Fairborn.
Oxygen.
That's incorrect. Let me finish the question for National Trail. Water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, or glucose? Eric.
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide is correct. These three poems were all written by the same famous author. On hearing a symphony of Beethoven, dirge without music, love is not all, it is not meat or drink. Who wrote those three? Brian from National Trail.
Emily Dickinson.
No, that's incorrect. Fairborn, a chance to steal. Chris, in time.
Longfellow.
No, Edna St. Vincent Millay. Another 10-point toss-up. You're in Seattle, Washington, and you drive straight east toward your goal of Chicago. What's the first state you enter after leaving Washington? Jason from National Trail.
Idaho.
You enter Idaho. That's correct for 10 points. On which dramatist's life was Long Day's Journey into Night based? Was it Eugene O'Neill, Virgil, Somerset Maugham, or Sophocles? Chris from Fairborn.
Virgil.
No, that's incorrect. National Trail, a chance to steal. Jason.
Somerset Maugham.
Eugene O'Neill. Another 10-point toss-up. In November 1982, this long black marble wall with thousands of names on it, Jason from National Trail.
The Vietnam Wall.
The Vietnam Veterans Memorial is correct for 10 points. A new gold-colored $1 coin is on its way into circulation. Chris from Fairborn.
Sacagawea.
Sacagawea is correct for 10 points. That's who is on that coin. Which New York Knicks player was fined earlier this season? Not for choking his coach this time, but for cursing at fans. Jason from National Trail.
Latrell Sprewell.
Latrell Sprewell is correct for 10 points. Every Thanksgiving Day, a large New York City department store sponsors a Felix from Fairborn.
Macy's.
Macy's sponsors a huge parade. That's correct for 10 points. The pancreas, the spleen, and the esophagus are all body organs that are a part of the same body system. Jason from National Trail.
Digestive system.
The digestive system is correct for 10 points. Chad, Egypt, Nigeria, and Angola are all African nations. Only one is a landlocked nation with no direct access to the sea. Jason from National Trail.
Chad.
Chad is correct for 10 points. For what musical instrument did Chopin write most of his compositions? Chris from Fairborn.
Piano.
Piano is correct for 10 points. What two words complete this line from Hamlet? This above all, to thine own self. We didn't get that one done, so we are at the end of one round today between National Trail and Fairborn. Checking out the scoreboard. It's a good one. National Trail up 110 to 80, but we've only played one round, 3 still to go. So hurry right back.
Do you know why Alpo is one of the fastest growing brands of dry dog food? I'll tell you why. I think it's this stuff. Chicory. Okay. It works on the bacteria in your system. Alpo helps you live a long and healthy life. Now, if anybody asks you how old you are, lie.
A great dog deserves a long life. A great dog deserves Alpo from Friskies.
Mr. Gecko.
This is my final plea. I am a gecko, not to be confused with Geico, which could save you hundreds on car insurance. So stop calling me.
Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I didn't want mail.
You don't have to sacrifice service to save money. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back, everybody. The Fairborn Skyhawks with 2 wins already, looking for their 3rd in a row, but they've got some catching up to do after 1 round. National Trail leads 110-80 as we get into our bonus round. But before we do that, let's take a minute or so to meet our 2 teams today. Starting out on the top row from National Trail, Eric, start us off.
Eric Arnett, senior. Jason Golden, senior. Brian Nethers, senior.
Brad Hampton, senior.
Hand down on the bottom row from Fairborn, Chris, do the honors.
Name's Chris Mahoney. I'm a senior.
Felix Castro, junior.
My name's Kat Williams, and I'm a senior.
Rob Ligas, senior.
Okay. In the bonus round, each team gets to answer a 10-point toss-up question. They answer the question, then they get up to 3 additional questions for as much as 30 additional bonus points. So teams, if you're ready, here we go. Here is your first toss-up question in the second round. If the Cowboys were to meet the Longhorns, which 2 Big 12 conference universities would be playing? That would be the Oklahoma State Cowboys and the Texas Longhorns. Here's another 10-point toss-up. What major American institution gets its name from the Latin word libra? Brad from National Trail.
Library.
The library is correct for 10 points, and bonus questions for National Trail only. The Middle East is always in the news, and a lot of times in our HiQ questions. You can confer with your teammates on this. For 5 points, name the capital city of the nation of Iraq.
Baghdad.
Baghdad is correct. For 10 points, the small body of water, a lake, but it's called a sea, that is a key in the Syrian-Israeli negotiations.
Dead Sea.
That's wrong. The Sea of Galilee is what we were looking for. Here's another 10-point toss-up question. Union Jack is the nickname for the flag of what European nation? Felix from Fairborn.
Great Britain.
Great Britain is correct. And bonus questions for the Skyhawks only. This is a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery bonus question. There will be no visuals, though, but a chance for 10 bonus points if you can answer all 3. The surface of the Earth changes through time due to rivers, glaciers, wave action, among other things. For 5 points, Fairborn, a mature river often forms winding loops called what?
Meanders.
Meanders is correct. For 10 points, when a glacier melts and retreats, the ridge of rock material deposited at the front edge of the glacier is called a...
Moraine.
A terminal moraine is correct for 10 points. And for 15 points, as seen in California at Big Sur, a column of resistant rock remaining when wave action erodes a sea cliff is called what?
Pillar.
No, it's called a sea stack. Another 10-point toss-up question. The final battle of the War of 1812 was fought 2 weeks. Felix from Fairborn.
New Orleans.
2 weeks after the war had ended in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's correct. And bonus questions once again for Fairborn. We turn to the field of science for these bonus opportunities. Fairborn for 5 points. Name the fracture in the Earth's surface which runs for over 600 miles from northwestern California to the Gulf of California.
San Andreas Fault.
The San Andreas Fault is correct for 10 points. Scientific device used underwater to locate objects and life.
Sonar.
Sonar is correct. And for 15 points, an electronic device producing visual displays which correspond to electrical signals.
Oscilloscope.
Oscilloscope is correct. Nice job. 3 out of 3. Here's another 10-point toss-up. Name the element which has these properties. It is soft and light. It is extremely malleable and a silver-white metal. It reacts explosively with water. Eric from National Trail.
Sodium.
Sodium is correct for 10 points, and bonus questions coming for the Blazers. This is a Boonshoff Museum of Discovery bonus question, so check out your monitor here on this one. The subject of this question is space explorers. For 5 points, what is the name of the first man in space? What was the name of the first man in space?
Yuri Gagarin.
Yuri Gagarin, the Soviet cosmonaut, is correct. For 10 points, everyone remembers Ohioan Neil Armstrong as the first man to step on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission. Who was the second man to step onto the surface of the moon?
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin is correct. And for 15 points, What was the name of the first American in space?
Shepard.
Alan Shepard is correct. Nice job. 30 points plus 10 bonus points for answering a Boonshoff Museum, all three. Another 10-point toss-up. What lake forms parts of the borders of the African nations of Kenya, Uganda? Jason from National Trail.
Lake Victoria.
Lake Victoria is correct. And bonus questions once again for the Blazers. What is the Z word about? Each question in this group has an answer that begins with the letter Z. National Trail for 5 points. A fastening device that causes two strips of metal studs to interlock.
Zipper.
That's a zipper. For 10 points. A plant having showy yellow or red flowers.
Zinnia.
Zinnia is correct for 10 points. And for 15 points, a Persian prophet of about 1000 BC. Zoroaster is what we were looking for. Another 10-point toss-up question. What river was commemorated in a famous waltz by Johann Strauss? Felix from Fairborn.
The Danube.
The Danube River is correct, and bonus questions for Fairborn only. Famous cities of the world can be highly fascinating. Try these cities on for size, and for bonus points, you get your bonus questions. For 5 points, it's the home of the Mariners and the Seahawks.
Seattle.
It is Seattle. For 10 points, named for a saint. The 1998 NCAA Final Four was played here.
St. Louis.
San Antonio. Okay, that's the end of the bonus round. Let's get to the scoreboard before we go to break and see where we are. 200 to 160. National Trail remains on top. We're halfway home. Plenty more to play right after this, so stay right there.
Hey, want to save money? Get yourself a Petco Pals card. It's free to anyone who shops at Petco. Just sign up at any Petco store and use your Pals card to save $2 and get 2 pounds free when you purchase the 22-pound bonus bag of KT Flight Song Wild Bird food for only $2.99. So get your free Petco Pals card. There is no substitute. Petco, where the pets go.
WHIO-TV kids programming not only entertains but informs and educates as well. A great lineup of these programs can be seen weekend mornings from 7 to 8, continuing from 11 a.m. to noon on Sunday. WHIO-TV maintains quarterly reports and other records regarding its broadcast of children's educational and informational programming. This material is available for inspection by the public during our regular business hours at 1414 Wilmington Avenue, Dayton, Ohio.
It's time to play the rapid fire round in this game of HiQ 2000. Let's go to the scoreboard before we play and check out the score. National Trail leading our two-time returning champs from Fairborn 200 to 160. In the rapid fire round, each team gets 1 minute to answer as many 10-point questions as they can. Any questions they incorrectly answer or pass on, the other team can give the correct answer and steal those points away. Fairborn, you're trailing right now. You'll have first choice of categories. Will it be pro, Asia, or players?
Pro.
Pro it is. Listen closely, National Trail. You'll have a chance to steal. Are you a pro? If so, then you can answer these 15 questions with words which all begin like a pro with the letters P-R-O. So here we go. A difficult or perplexing matter. A proposition to be worked out.
Problem.
Something remarkable. A marvel. A young person with super talent.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. Declare publicly. Announce officially.
Profess.
No. A colonial governor for ancient Rome.
Pass.
Delaying action. Put off until later.
Procrastinate.
Correct. Blasphemy. Swearing.
Profane.
Profanities. Correct. A form of speech used to represent a noun or nouns.
Pronoun.
Correct. To offer for consideration. To suggest.
Pass.
The laboring class, especially in Russia in 1917.
Proletarians.
Correct. One who predicts, a spokesman especially for a god.
Prophet.
One who supports something, makes a case for it.
Proponent.
Correct. A microscopic one-celled animal.
Protozoa.
Correct. A well-known truth expressed as a maxim. Didn't get that one out. 12 questions, 1, 2, 3 that you didn't get. National Trail a chance to steal on those. Declare publicly, announce officially is?
Proclaim.
To proclaim. A colonial governor for ancient Rome?
Prolate.
No, we were looking for procurator. And to offer for consideration, to suggest.
Prefer.
No, is to propose is what we were looking for. Okay. It's your turn to listen up, Fairborn National Trail. Your turn to play. Your categories are players or Asia. What's it going to be?
Players.
Players it is. Here we go. Listen closely. Each of the persons named below is associated with a sport. You have 15 chances and 1 minute to answer as many as you can. Here we go. Venus Williams.
Tennis.
Randy Johnson.
Baseball.
Carl Pickens.
Basketball.
Incorrect. Crystal Robinson.
Basketball.
Correct. Barry Bonds.
Baseball.
Betsy King.
Pass.
Andre Agassi.
Tennis.
Ernie Els.
Golf.
Kyle Petty.
Racing.
Monica Seles.
Tennis.
Mike Keene.
Pass.
Trajan Langdon.
Basketball.
Correct. Tony Gwynn.
Baseball.
Teresa Witherspoon.
Basketball.
Terrell Davis.
Football.
Correct. 15 questions. 1, 2, 3 that you didn't get. Chance to steal for Fairborn. Carl Pickens plays
Football.
football for the Cincinnati Bengals, at least as of right now. Betsy King plays...
Tennis.
Betsy King plays golf. And Mike Keene plays...
Baseball.
Mike Keene is a hockey player. So that's the end of Rapid Fire. Let's get back to the scoreboard before we head to break for the final exam. 330 to 260, National Trail on top. We'll have the final exam right after this, so don't go away.
Buying a carpet deep cleaner can be confusing. You may think they have steam or heat the water, but in fact they don't. Presenting the Bissell Pro Heat, the only upright deep cleaner with a built-in heater to heat the water. See the light? The heat is on, making the hot tap water up to 25 degrees hotter for maximum cleaning performance. The Bissell Pro Heat. See the light? Bissell. We mean clean.
America the Beautiful. Whether your destination is a babbling brook or the Grand Canyon, there's no better way to get there than in an RV from my good friend Tom Raper in Richmond, Indiana.
Now's the time to buy. The price has been reduced on over 1,000 units for immediate clearance in the month of March.
So let Tom Raper make the American dream come true for you today.
Tom Raper Homes, Richmond, Indiana. Open evenings, closed Sunday. Call now. Call free. 1-800-RAPER-RV.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to play the final exam on KatHiQ today, and our two-time returning champions from Fairborn have some catching up to do against National Trail. 330-260 right now as we head into the final exam. The only difference here, every question worth 20 points instead of 10. So teams, if you're ready, here we go. How many edges are there in a hexagonal prism? Cat from Fairborn.
6.
No, that's incorrect. National Trail, a chance to steal. No, 18. Okay, another toss-up question. The largest Macedonian empire was built under the leadership of what great young man? Jason from National Trail.
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great is correct for 20 points. On November 30th, 1962, U Thant of Burma was elected to follow the late Dag Hammarskjöld as the
UN Secretary
Jason from
General.
National Trail.
United Nations Secretary General.
United Nations was what we were looking for, and that's what you said. That's correct for 20 points. Name the Austrian alpine flower prized by mountain climbers.
Edelweiss.
Cat from Fairborn.
Edelweiss.
Edelweiss is correct for 20 points. This passage is about which man? He became an internationally famous agricultural chemist who helped the economy of the South by discovering Felix from Fairborn.
George Washington Carver.
George Washington Carver is correct for 20 points. Here's a Boonshelf Museum of Discovery bonus monitor question. She has traveled throughout the world. Felix from Fairborn.
Albert.
No, that's incorrect. Let me finish the question for National Trail. She has traveled throughout the world many times over the past few years as she has represented the United States. What is the government position that Madeleine Albright holds? Jason.
Secretary of State.
She's Secretary of State. That's good for 20 points and 10 bonus points. Let's look at some human anatomy now. Is the tongue located in the pelvic cavity, the buccal cavity, the cranial cavity, or the thoracic cavity? Cat from Fairborn.
The cranial.
No, that's incorrect. National Trail, a chance to steal. The buccal cavity is what we were looking for. Originally, did our Constitution specify that U.S. senators would be selected by state governors, state legislatures, Brian from National Trail.
State legislators.
State legislators is correct for 20 points. Add the number 50 to the square root of 36, which will give you what answer? Chris from Fairborn.
56.
56 is correct. The name for an ancient country is literally translated as the land between the rivers. Felix from Fairborn.
Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia is correct for 20 points. Since Mesopotamia means land between the rivers, now name the two rivers involved. Chris from Fairborn.
Tigris and Euphrates.
That's correct for 20 points. What Shakespearean character is remembered for saying, "Out damned spots"? Cat from Fairborn.
Lady Macbeth.
Lady Macbeth is correct for 20 points. In November 1874, the man who would lead the British through World War II was born in Blenheim Palace. Jason from National Trail.
Winston Churchill.
Was the Prime Minister of England. That's correct. What property of a liquid can be determined by dividing the buoyant force of that liquid? Cat from Fairborn.
Viscosity.
No, that's incorrect. National Trail, let me finish the question. By dividing the buoyant force of that liquid by the buoyant force of water. Eric.
Density.
Density or specific gravity, correct. We would have accepted either one. In 1792, Ludwig von Beethoven moved to what Austrian city, which became his home for the rest of his life? Jason from National Trail.
Vienna.
Vienna for 20 points. Which agency of the U.S. Department of the Interior is responsible for constructing, operating, and maintaining dams on American rivers? That is the Bureau of Reclamation. Recite the first 5 words from the Declaration of Independence. Cat from Fairborn.
When in the course of human events.
When in the course of works. Correct. A phrase or verse repeated at intervals throughout a poem or a song. Chris from Fairborn.
Refrain.
Is known as a refrain. That's correct for 20 points. Primary alcohols have how many hydrogen atoms on the carbon joined to the hydroxyl? Cat from Fairborn.
3.
No, incorrect. National Trail, a chance to steal. Brian.
6.
2. Another 10-point or 20-point toss-up. Tennyson said that this treacherous knight and 12 accomplices forced their way into Guinevere's chamber. Felix from Fairborn.
King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table.
No, that's incorrect. Let me finish the question for National Trail. Let me finish the question. Forced their way into Guinevere's chamber when Lancelot was there. Who was this illegitimate son of King Arthur? Modred is what we were looking for. Another 20-point toss-up. A research approach used in many subjects such as sociology involves a detailed and thorough analysis of a single individual, family, or situation. What name is given to this kind of study? Chris from Fairborn.
Profile.
No, that's incorrect. National Trail, a chance to steal. It's known as a case study. What king of Judea is remembered for ordering the slaughter of all young children in the village of Bethlehem? Felix from Fairborn.
Herod.
King Herod is correct. This passage is from a novel by what author? At times, he regarded the wounded soldiers in an envious way. He conceived persons with torn bodies to be particularly happy. He wished that he, too, had a wound, a red badge of courage. Jason from National Trail.
Stephen Crane.
Stephen Crane is correct for 20 points. It was on November 29, 1947, that the United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution to partition Palestine. What 2 ethnic groups of people were now to share this land? Felix from Fairborn.
Palestinians and Jews. Or
no, that's not what I was looking for here. National Trail, chance to steal. What we were looking for was Arabs and Jews. And that is the end of our game today. So we'll go to break and be back and check out the final score from today's game. So don't go away.
Trying to cover up a dull coat? Try eating healthier dog food. Petco has all the nutritious premium brands you can't get at a supermarket for a healthy coat that'll make you shine. Petco, where the pets go. Time to haul in the savings at Petco. Now save $10 with the mail-in rebate on any 8.5-pound bag or larger of Science Diet Canine or Science Diet Feline food. So grab the savings and run to Petco, where the pets go.
Do you know why Alpo is one of the fastest growing brands of dry dog food? I'll tell you why. I think it's this stuff. Chicory. Okay. It works on the bacteria in your system. Alpo helps you live a long and healthy life. Now, if anybody asks you how old you are, lie.
A great dog deserves a long life. A great dog deserves Alpo from Friskies.
Good game today between National Trail and Fairborn. Fairborn, our two-time returning champions, though, come up on the short end. 500 to 440, the final score. So after 2 wins, Fairborn's going to have to retire without getting that 3rd win. National Trail now with 1 win under their belts. The Blazers will play the Springfield Catholic Central Fighting Irish next week. Fairborn, thank you very much for being with us. Best of luck to you in the future. National Trail will see you next week, and we'll see you next week as well for another round of HiQ 2000. We'll see you then.